Ugh.
Spacecraft.
Whoa. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at BE:FIRST track entitled Spacecraft. We have a music video and a dance practice because I waited until the dance practice went live as of 8 minutes ago, the time of me recording this. So I'm pretty excited to actually watch. This is the first time I think I'm catching an official title track comeback. I think every other time has just been heavy requests on the YouTube side, and this did win my Japanese J-pop which one to upload first kind of poll that happened yesterday. So I'm excited to actually give this to you guys in a significantly expedited manner than I normally would. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. Let's get into it. Dance practice is up. It's here. I'm ready. Oh my god. God, I hope it's a fixed cam. And I want to see this vibration in the course. In a dome? Okay. Yeah. This is so fascinating. Oh, this is so fun to watch. Oh, fun. That was fun. With the reverse speed change. Oh, so good. Guys, it's so good. Like, it's all about environment in which you watch something, right? So for me, what's going down? I was just curious. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, we've already watched that. Okay, chat. What I find so interesting about this is that if I would watch this in D-League, I would say, of course, we need to be way cleaner because of the environment and context in which you're doing it. But please note who I'm referencing right now. Like, I would expect Jet Boy Bangers to do this, right? Because every mofo in that group is affiliated with a team on D-League. These guys aren't. I mean, one of them, yes, through the HHI circuit, for sure. I know who he's affiliated with. I get it. Like, that's super dope. But everybody's not. He is, right? And now they've all received training and everything. I can tell the unrefinement in a lot of cases, but if they clean that mess up, that could win some categories on D-League. I'm telling you. Oh man, that was so fun. Like, I'm not expecting this style of choreography and structure on a J-pop group. I don't. Like, I'm expecting it whenever you remove the vocals out of it and you're just doing dance. Like, I'm not expecting them to have to sing on top of all that. That's ridiculous. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's why my brain is bamboozled right now. God, that's so cool. This is so cool. Okay, cool. Awesome. I know it's absolutely fine that they're not super squeaky clean. If they really cleaned that up, that would be freaking insane. It's still great. Still fantastic. Do not get me wrong. But I'm telling you, there's a certain, like, unearthly, untouchable quality of this if they were all, like, squeaky clean, like you normally see when you see people do this style. And remember the two crews I referenced. Those two are some of the cleanest in the circuit. Goodness gracious. Okay, here we go. Let's talk through it. Ooh, I'm so glad I waited for this, because it's a fixed cam, too, and it makes you appreciate what they're seeing so much more. So fun. Okay, so they start. You see, we have a vibration as we're also pulling finger ISO waves right here, right? So we have that, and then we're also vibrating. Polyrhythmic out the gate. And you have that sound, right? Lord. Yeah, and then we end up taking it over. We rotate. Come on now. Most likely we rotate heel-toe, right? So we end up, most do heel-heel. So a lot of times you'll see people do the back leg that you want to be your back leg, be rotating the ball of the foot, and then the front leg on the heel. Okay, here we go. If you want to reference the technical, like, execution of it, I'm assuming he has a hand in the choreo, he's going to be your guy to watch, for sure. The refinement of the choices is great. I'm telling you. That's cool. So you have it trickling down. We've heard this called digits. We've heard this called many different things. Finger waving, whatever. Spider fingers, the whole shebang. So I love that we pick it up. This is a speed change, right? We're walking in slow-mo, and then we end up tilting over the side. I have seen Cyber Agent do that right there multiple times in multiple sets. That's why it immediately, I was like, whoa, what are we getting into, right? That feels like Takumi right there. But Takumi's on Jet Boy Bangers, which makes me, I feel like I need to catch up with them, because I gotta see how the D-League brothers all collab together to make what they make. Anyway, back to this though. I love that they look over. I love that we're hearing everything in this. I love the wave on that with the pull. Come on that. It's so cool. Subtle look to the front is nice. We take our arms up. We're prepping it. Notice that we're winding it up right here with the torso, but those arms are needing the back to support. Some aren't doing that, like my guy right here, but some are, and you can see the power is going to be different, right? So they hit, boom, and then they set and establish what kind of bass they want to hit, which is that cyborg sounding bass, and then they pull through it with the chest. Good God, it's fun. And then they hit it over, and now it's more isolated here. So another formation is a group of 5 and a V with 2 outliers. It's a good classic formation for a group of 7. Now you have my feature. I'm assuming it's my guy right here, because his arms are an outlier compared to everybody else's, right? So he could be anywhere, and if his arms are up and everybody else's are down, you're going to want to look at him. So that's what my assumption is, and it kind of clocks out as that, right? So we have our arms closer to the face. His are more in a surrendering kind of position and are locked with the wrist. This is cool. So they hit boom, boom. So I like how he takes it and he separates to make it look like he's controlling them ever so slightly through a rebound, or it's like a rebound with a speed change to tailor it. Oh, so cool. So we hit it through. We did a nice little, it's just a sticky, rigid weight shift, right? And I like how we hit it. I like the tap of the foot on that too. It's weighted. It's not just a tap. So you have them shove their weight ever so slightly enough to where you can see them rebound, and there's a little bit of, there's just an extra rigidness to it, right? So I like how we hit it, and then we end up hinging all the way around and down. Super cool. There's your subtlety, boom, and then we're picking up the arms on that, which is really nice. So I like how we have my guy outlier there, and his choices to where he still contributes cohesively with what everybody else is doing, but it's still its own vibe. Come on now. So it hits it over, boom. I like how we take our O, we move it to the side. Come on now. So we have this, really cool travel from front to back. Ugh, filthy. Really cool. It's clean enough for us to appreciate. Now, we have my guy right here going to full-on vibration. They're going to end up shaking the hands. You can give that impression of a vibration through doing this. If you vibrate it, it's going to be more refined. Refinement is a huge indicator here. I think I remember talking about it in some of their other stuff. Right? You can see that, so he ends up traveling the energy from that left leg, inverting the knee to create a body roll up to give it some energy up to the arm. Then he ends up sending it through vibration once again. Now treat a refined vibration as a sprint in running. Sprints are not meant to be done in a marathon, right? You're not going to marathon a full-on sprint for 24 to 25 miles, right? So your vibrations are not meant to go longer than a lot of times 10 seconds tops, right? And that's still pushing it. So seeing him be able to pull all this is great, but also that's why there's a reason why you see it as like this little moment. You don't see it all the way through, but a lot of times you're going to see it through a full 8 count, which is a push on the body. So shout out to them for that. Goodness, I like that. Click, 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 click. I like the subtlety of this little head on that, which is cool. And then we have it, boom. I like this right here. Some of us are really shaking through the whole body. A little bit more of like a, we're taking our core, keeping it engaged. You want to lock everything up. So as it moves from one position to another, it's all working together like a robot, right? So a robot, it doesn't have all these subtle nooks and crannies, fluidity involved. It's very rigid, it's very locked in, right? It's a little bit creaky too, depending on if it needs some oil, right? So anyway, I love his travel through from there. He ends up vibrating it through. You hear this like we're cocking a gun, right? So I like that we have a weightiness, but a reverb on that too. And then we end up transferring the energy through the knees of the lower half of the body, and it sends everybody's body directionally facing front. They don't have a mirror on this too, so there's a good chance they were reviewing this without a mirror, and they shot it without a mirror. That's impressive. Most times when you see people in a dance practice space, they can review it in front of a mirror, get everything nice and refined. For them, this is a freaking dome, and they're popping off, literally pop, right? And I love the fact that they shot this here. Super dope lighting too. I kind of wish there were more dance practice footage is shot with lighting like this. This is dope AF. I don't think I've seen a stage run through like this with the lighting like that. Most of the time it's just, oh, we're on break, let's go ahead and film it. Those are still cool. This is sick AF though. So cool. I love that. And we take it back, nice little, they're not like full nanang out of it, but I really like the subtlety of the pushback on it. It's cool. Nice little moment out of him right here. It's cool. They're like da-da-da-da. The kickball change, and they step to prep to the slide, and then we travel it through. Ugh, that do-do-do-do-do-do. And then you still have that gun, ching, and it's like a revolver. It's like that kind of sound, specifically if you want to get more niche in the timbre of it, which that can help influence your texture. So what I talk about in musicality is you have timbre and tonal color, which is timbre sound context, or it's such a broad thing in the music cognition world of things. So I'm just going to use it based off of my context. So sound context, what the sound actually is. It's a gun. What kind of gun? It sounds like a revolver. Ping, right? This kind of metal type of material, how you cock it, right? You don't really do that. You go ching, or you also hear, it's like when you hear a bullet, boom, a bullet casing gets sent out of a gun. It could be a rifle, you know what I mean? Like it sounds like a different cases like that. I would actually assume it sounds like a shell getting kicked out of a gun more so than a revolver, right? But know that there is a difference between the two. So how you're going to emulate that is different if I have a revolver versus if I'm having something with a big enough recoil to have a shell that size make that sound, right? It's, God, just talking about this is so fun. As you can tell, I'm trying to chill out a little bit, but goodness gracious. Anyway, so this is really cool. I love the subtlety. Boom, boom with the head. Come on now. The slide there. This feels like we're entering into a Crump-inspired influence posture. So now it feels like we got a full cast Razors feature. They're all twigs here. That's so fun. They hit boom, and I like how we take our arm and we twinkle it in from the pinky down to the fingers. Hit, boom, boom. It's like material work. Like when you're dealing with a gun, I like the ISOs and the switch up on that for my center here. And I like that hit boom, boom, boom with a kick. Travel it through, and then we create material work. All that you've seen under the Crump umbrella of references. Now, are they doing full-on Crump? No, but I can see some form of inspiration off of how we're holding ourselves here, right? And the switch up there is really nice. You know, all that there, right? It's like, I feel like we're about to jab up the whole space and go buck, right? I like the heel toe on that. And then swing it over. I like the opening there. Some of us are switching it up. We have a heel. Some of us are going to switch over with the head and the toes. And then we have the subtlety on this. It does remind you of what you see a little bit later. It's hypnotic, right? And then we end up traveling it up. Different transition to a new formation. We got our 2 diagonals with your center point. Push a little bit to the back, so it's not a full V. It's its own, you know, little version of it. Then we have our head on that, which is nice, and we have our arms travel down instead of in front. We have it a little bit more centered to the chest, and we go boom boom, and I like how we sink into an extra little reverb there, and they go out. I love the different directions happening depending on what diagonal you're in, and it was very complimentary to what was going on in center. From here goes you, click click, and here we go. We got the swing, arm swing, swing, and it does look like we have it. It's very hip oriented, but it's like, oh, what is it? It's isolated. Yeah, so it's like the hips more the knees. Like the legs are being controlled by the hand, not really the hips, which a lot of times you see there. Then they start the vibration spread collectively, right? Now, not everybody's dropping super low, and I know there's a performance version out there. I've seen, you know, I've done the whole Be First music video performance version and dance practice. Performance version is just a music video. You have it, of course, most likely cut, and you're not going to be able to see these things the way that I really wanted to see them, which is like this. And best way to get my reaction is to watch me do an uncut. I love uncuts. It's the best way to do it is give me a fixed cam dance practice, which is what this is. And I'm so glad it just got launched. I know so many of you guys are waiting for me to look at this. We're here, we're looking at it. And it is released so much earlier than I normally do. So I'm really happy I got to do that. But anyway, here we go. Vibration time. So they're ending up doing it most likely from the chest. If you're going to pull a vibration that full, it's going to come from here a lot of times, right? And then, yeah, that's so cool. So they go around, swing, swing, swing. So now that's tension, different type of tension. There's that vibration one, and it comes from engaging. How do I explain this? This is fun. Normally I can explain an arm one, but when it comes to the chest vibration, so it's not a repeated flexing like you would see. You ever get so angry you shake, right? So it's flexing. Oh my God, how do I do this? So it's a mix of flexing and kind of like you're hammering something really, really fast. So it's like I'm shoving my ribs forward. No, that's a terrible way to explain it, Jess. Wow. With an arm, maybe you can convert this to the chest. I'll explain how I do arms. When you think about when I'm doing a vibration here, I'm thinking about the muscle groups involved, and a lot of times there's like these tendons that get involved in it. If you want to avoid tension in your elbow, you don't want to think about vibrating this or shaking this, right? You want to think about there's like a tendon that's trying to contract instead of fully extend. Your goal is to keep it from, oh my God, Jess, it's, you want to keep it fully extended while you're trying to bring it closer to you, if that makes sense. So if I'm talking about that from the core, imagine it's a big long tendon. It's all nice and stretched out. You're trying to avoid it from collapsing in. So you're kind of combating in it. Like when you're shaking, when you're trying to do something, to hold it back from when you're trying to give up, like you're holding on. It's kind of like that. That was probably the worst explanation I've ever done in the history of Just React, and I am so sorry. Thank you, Be First, for adding a freaking vibration out the wazoo in a dance practice where I normally break things down to where I had to figure this out. Good God. Okay, it's so cool. Anyway, then they end up doing this little like hip shake, which I find to be kind of fun. Hold on. Hold on. See, this is the downside. Whenever not everybody's on the same page on like doing it the exact same way, it's hard to know what's really, really going on. It does look like we're doing it like we're traveling it through the body, like legato body roll wise, like waving. And then we end up doing a head teeter. Yeah, and it goes, da-na-na-na-na-na, and we go punch, punch. And I really love how we just switch up this hinge rock. Oh my God. Like, guys, going from all the tension required to do all of what they just did into something super slinky, gross. Go away. This is great. This is so good. And they end up going, my three goes, and then they expand out, and you got 3 more people popping in through. And they hit it over, boom, and you have a nice little nuance fingerprint like we saw before. We already saw this, but putting them together in this way is different. Nice. And it goes, so I like the brush, just like, come on now. And then it goes through, and then we have my guy right there, swing out. Here we go. Now they go speed change. And then it does look like my guy in center has his moment. I like the knock knock, little accents coming over from stage right. And I like how he hits it over, really cool. And they go sound, and you hear it travel all the way around. That's gross. That's so cool. So cool. And then we aim it, boom, we're sending it. A lot of this gun imagery, right? And this one feels, that sound is more sci-fi in gun, not a shell casing from a military grade weapon. It's not the same, even though you see those two coexist in sci-fi based movies when you're dealing with humans versus aliens, right? So Spacecraft, for me, I see the timbre of the actual sounds that we're listening for. I see the overlap in tonal color too. Really cool. Anyway, I like how they all bring it down. I like how they're nice and bounced, nice and low, having my guy be able to go forward, have his own moment. Dee. He comes up. I like the hit. He goes, I think it's an add-on. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, it's an add-on. That was fast too. So he hits it first, my second line joins, and then my third line joins. And then they hold, they slide out of it, and then they do a nice little shampoo out of it too. And then they do a nice little trace, however they want. My guy who doesn't move, he's going to be the one that I clock as the feature, because he is more absent, more pedestrian, stoic in his positioning. Everybody else is transitioning to a new spot. Whenever somebody's abnormally not going the same degree of range or degree of, fullness, you're going to want to clock him. That's exactly the case when we saw him the first time, right? Really cool. Whew, we're not even halfway through. What am I doing? Goodness gracious, this is so fun. Okay. Yeah, the travel through is really nice. And I like the boom, boom. So cool. How they're hitting the sound. The musicality is so captivating. It's because I expect this in a professional dance league. I'm not expecting it here in a J-pop comeback. Like that's what gets me. And I knew they were gonna pull this, and that's what makes it really fun. Is that I've already had like 2-3 of these freaking things under my belt, but it doesn't make it any less cool. That's so fun, guys. Psh, I get it. This is fun. Oh, look at the speed change. I love the subtlety. Notice how rigid he's being. He's establishing more of a mechanical approach. Really dope. And then he has a little moment right here. Brings it over. Pump. I love that. And it goes from back to front. And then now we're back to something super subtle. These texture, posture changes are not easy. So I'm actually really impressed by everybody's growth in the texture shifts. Even though we're not all on the same page on a lot of the unison, it's still really cool and commendable. You can only get better. And they go drop, really cool. You got a nice little hop, and then it goes into a freaking add-on through delegation. So it goes traveling the energy, but notice it's not super legato, so it's not super smooth. You have to have a lot of this stabbing kind of rebounded approach to your traveling up in your ISO. It's really cool. Then it goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then he travels it across. Then you have that little snap like a photo, which is cool. Now that's an add-on. We're just walking out of it. They kickball change. He takes it up, and then he ends up swinging it around. Come on now. Boom. There's your reverb on that. So that was a really cool add-on. Then he brings it up. And he does an outlier arm to make us continue to clock him. And then he goes into, it's a 3 columns. He's right there. Whisper. Ooh, we're like, what? Huh? In like a, what are you about to destroy? Like, it's so counter what we're so used to being set up with when you're building up to a course. Yeah, so it's da-da-da-da, reaching over. So it's the same thing as before. I mean, let him cook, I'm totally fine with that, and we just have a different formation. Totally fine. Yeah. And now this part, we just have it pushed back a little bit more. And then my feature right here, he grabbed, I don't know if that was intentional or what, but we're clocking him his feature there. Da-da-da. Watching you, da-da-da. That's the legs, and then we end up vibrating. Are we vibrating with the legs too? I think it's safe to assume. The answer is everything's vibrating. And it does feel like everyone is just vibrating other parts of the body more aggressively than others. Like my guy in white's about to pop off so freaking full in a vibration that no one else does. But my guy right here in center, his head is really full there. This right here. That right there. I mean, let him. I wonder if he did it on purpose or not. It does look the case. I think it's fun though. Uh-oh. Yeah, uh-oh. Nice. I like it with the subtlety. And they use that to create a nice formation. It does kind of look like a little UFO, don't it? And then we travel the head around. Yeah, the egg, like the brush on that. And they bring it around. Everybody's speed changes. And then you have your center. Boom. Travel the energy up. Dance break is coming. Prepare yourself. I'm preparing myself. Right there. So they're doing a kick. The kick is actually, if you're thinking about the grand scheme of what's easier to vibrate, I think by keeping the leg in the air is easier to vibrate than having it on the ground because you have weight involved in it. Whenever you have the leg lifted, you don't have weight involved. Just like my arm, if I put it on the ground, it's way harder to vibrate than if I have it in the air. With my chest, same thing. If I had weight on it, it'd be harder. So I like the fact that we were able to initiate a body roll traveling from the vibration of the lifted leg all the way through, and we hit it, and then he vibrates. I like that. The crispness of the halt there, so it allowed us to go, what's happening? And it goes vibration, and we drop it. Notice that these are completely dead on the fingers, super dope there. And we go, they take it, material work. We've already seen that be formed during the courses, so it's really nice that we see it introduced in a more complex way here. And we hop it, and then we end up hinging. We're creating a rotation of the knees here versus a vibration. Rotating knees to help travel the energy up for direction change. Once again, on the crisp sound, we don't want to do too much on that, right? We're very intentional with what's going on in the music. This is fantastic. And you have that, ooh, that's gross. I hate how good that is. I love how subtle that is. That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, because you can be so quick to dance too loud on it. And when I talk about that, it comes with kinesphere engagement. So like how big your movement is and also how many people you have doing it, because that also is going to influence how full something comes across, regardless of how subtle or how big, right? So you hear how the hoo feels like it's off in the distance and it's very subtle, right? So you don't want to do something too big here because then it's going to take us out of the subtlety of the beauty of that sound, right? They are the visual representatives of the music. Even though they're the ones on the track, they should know out of anybody the best way to maintain the integrity of it, right? So the fact that they went so subtle, isolating it here, not here, and then having everybody else just isolate to the head, it's going to be way more subtle than using the whole body. I love that. So let's look at it one more time and appreciate. He catches it, and he releases it. Ooh, and they're still going. And then they end up going kick, body roll, traveling it up. He catches it again. Every time we hear that, we're not neglecting it. I love the lack of negligence here, that we're catching it. The answer is, do you want to dance on this? And they said yes. The answer was yes for all of this. Goodness. Travel through was really nice. We caught it. And he ends up reverbing to finish it out. And we end up vibrating to change direction. All the way across. We pick up. Nice walks. A pull's a really nice pull and pull. Body roll out of that's really cool. We go up, boom, boom, boom. Come on. And then I love how we're just deciding to pop off. Party of 7. Okay. And they hit it up. Boom, boom, boom. I think I really like that it's a full body engaged on it, not just the upper body. I really appreciate that. That means the core and the back have to be engaged in order for it to read like that. Cool. And it shows a contrast of the subtlety that they did in the first section of this dance break. Really cool. And I slide over there. I like his hop on that. Good contrast of levels. We come up. There's some intimacy in his tone here, which I really like. I like how we chilled out. It shows depth on this, and I like how they bled it from the stage right over to stage left. And then they take the arm. They go, ta. But notice, intimate, subtle, but collective. And it helps make it all come together just like you saw the... Yep, I love that. And right here, we have my guy right here, have his moment. And it does feel like that was supposed to be an add-on, but it didn't quite read there. So that's the only thing there, but it's a speed change. So it looked like they were doing an energy transfer from my back, diagonal, so my guy right here, all the way through to my guy right there. Ooh, come on. Come on now. So speed change, and they travel it up. So now it's back to that vibration that you saw in the very beginning. So now we're beginning, I don't know if we're still doing the course, but when they start walking backwards, they're just creating an Oreo cookie of a start and a finish. I love it. They end up tossing it, so when they take the arms, they reset that right left. Really cool. I like the head on that's really nice. We take our arms, boom, Then we take our fingers, bringing it in. Da dee 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 dee. I like the travel around is really cool. Kick, kick, kick. Come on. And then we create a nice little material work, just like what we were already seeing in that first course. All this right here. First course. Yeah, boom. And here, instead of keeping it there and traveling it here, they went nay, nay, mother trucker. Yeah. Spacecraft. And he's like, oh, we're about to hit them folks, but we're going to collapse to the floor instead. Come on now. And I like he has his moment right here, like he's subtly controlling them, but I like the intention of the fingers. Thank you. I like the bounce out of that where they go high, low, and then they stayed low until we got ready to get to more collective. Boom. Then we bring it back up. Then you have this rotation up. This is also filthy part 2. He has his moment, and notice that we have these little add-ons. This is add-on through delegation. Where it's similar to, what is it? You add on and break off at the same time. So you have somebody have a moment, then they break off from this, but then somebody else takes ownership in place. It's like add-on substitution almost, right? I just talked about this with another choreo. But God, it's so cool. So cool. I think it was a 1 or 8. Funnily enough, it's cool. So they rotate around. I love that. And then they end up taking it through and around. Look at that. Just having it, this whole little interaction between the trio was so sick there. And then they grab and they go pull, 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 stage right to left. And they throw it, keeping the body ever so slightly angled to that left side. Then they go vroom around. And we walk. Come on now. It feels very unified, right? Because it's balanced and symmetrical. Love those. And I like how they end up reversing. So they kick to begin the reversal. Boom. And they speed change, nice and slow. Yep, all that. I'm honestly very impressed with them for the fact that they didn't lose their balance. And they go, they take it, and then they finish the reverse. Of course, range could improve from some of my guys. They were taking a little bit longer than others. Lord help us. That was fantastic. Oh, man. Now, I could learn this, but part of me knows that it's not going to take 5 minutes. It's not going to take 13. It'll probably take me over an hour to feel really good about it because of the amount of nuance to it. So I'm going to let you guys decide. So let me make a like count. So I'm going to pin a comment to this on YouTube. And if I get... I'm going to really go for it. If I get 100 likes on this pinned comment down below that says you want to see a Jess take of this, I will learn the course. But if I do not get 100, it's not happening. So, letting you know, that's my rule for this, because when it comes to a Be First choreo, it requires a significant amount of effort, which is a test to them. That's going to require a lot of effort for me to do. I can do it, but that's going to take time. And if you want it, I'll do it. But that's the only way I'll know, is by you telling me and liking the comment. So hopefully I'll remember to actually do that. But anyway, completely digress. This was really fun. Really, really fun. And if you're like, Jess, you kept referencing D-League. What in the world are you talking about? I literally just, at the time of me posting this on YouTube, I would have just posted the D-League one from round 8. Please go watch specifically Cyber Agent Legit, and please go watch Katakawa Dreams. They're in different matches, but watch those 2 teams and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here when it comes to the nuances of like the collaboration of them. Cool. This was fantastic. I'm so glad I watched this. I'm so glad I waited till the dance practice so I can truly appreciate a fixed cam one take vibe. Y'all know me. I know you. I'm Jess. If you want to see more Be First, I have a couple already on YouTube, but anything that like older will most likely get early release on Patreon, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.